There's a quiet kind of heartbreak that doesn't come from betrayal or fights. It's the slow erosion of self, the gradual shrinking of your own needs, your own voice, until one day you wake up as a stranger to yourself. Today's story is about a woman who gave up so much of herself to a relationship that she forgot who she was. And the hardest part isn't just about losing the relationship, it's losing the self you sacrificed to keep. Welcome to another episode of ChatGPT Reacts. And today we talk about self abandonment. Let's move on to read this Reddit story and try to make sense out of it and take some learning out of it together. Alright, here we go. I, 29 female, have been in a relationship for almost 5 years. In the beginning, he was everything I wanted: ambitious, charming, deeply caring. But slowly, I started bending myself to fit into his world. He loved a clean house, so I became obsessed with keeping things perfect. He loved a certain look, so I changed my style to match his taste. He valued career success, so I pushed myself to climb the ladder when it felt like I was burning out. I became the woman he wanted. I started laughing at jokes I didn't find funny. I tolerated friends I didn't feel safe around. I silenced my own opinions to avoid conflict. But at some point, I stopped asking myself what I wanted. I stopped saying no to things that made me uncomfortable. I let this preference become my personality. A few weeks ago, I tried to share my struggles with him. I told him I felt drained, unappreciated, like I'd lost a part of myself. He just looked at me confused, almost irritated, and said, "What do you mean? You've never had a problem with that before." And then it hit me. He doesn't know me. He knows the version of me that I became for him. And honestly, I'm not sure I know myself anymore either. All right. I think a lot of us have been there. You bend a little, then a little more, and before you know it, you're just twisted into a version of yourself you don't even recognize. You start saying yes to the things you hate. You start pretending to be okay with things that hurt. And you convince yourself that if you just try a little harder, if you're just a little more perfect, maybe they'll love you more. But you know what? If you have to shape shift to earn someone's love, you're not in a relationship. You are in an audition. You really deserve more than that. You deserve to take up space, to be seen for who you really are, and not just the parts that are convenient for someone else. And if you feel like you've lost yourself in the process of loving someone, you're not alone. And it's not too late to come back to yourself. So let's put this story on ChatGPT and see what we learn out of it. Here we go. Alright, so here's what ChatGPT has to say. What you're feeling is incredibly valid, and it has a name: self abandonment. It's when you lose touch with your own needs, boundaries, and identity in the process of loving someone else. And here's why this happens and why it is so hard to see when you are in it. Number one, the subtle, silent drift into self erasure. Many people slip into self abandonment without realizing it. It starts with small compromises: changing your clothes to match their taste, altering your schedule to fit theirs, biting your tongue to avoid a fight. And slowly, those small adjustments accumulate. You become someone who exists to make them comfortable, to keep the peace, to earn their approval. And one day you realize you have traded your authenticity for their acceptance. The second thing is the myth of the perfect partner. Many of us grow with the belief that being a good partner means being flexible, supportive, easygoing. But when that flexibility turns into self erasure, you lose the part of yourself that makes you unique, vibrant, and whole. You become a mirror of their preference, their needs, and in doing so, you stop reflecting your own. The third thing is emotional invisibility and the loss of voice. When you suppress your own needs long enough, you start to feel invisible. Not because your partner is cruel or dismissive, because you've trained them to expect your silence. You've conditioned them to believe that you're okay with everything, that you have no limits, that your only role is to support their growth. The tragic irony is, the more you bend, the less you're seen. Let's just sit with this for a moment, because this is not just about a relationship. It's about the slow, subtle loss of self, the version of you that stopped speaking up, that stopped dreaming your own dreams, that learned to smile through discomfort just to keep the peace. But the love you give is not small, and the care you offer is not disposable, and the voice you quieted deserves to be heard again. You don't have to disappear to be loved. You don't have to break yourself to be chosen. You don't have to fit into someone else's mold to be worthy. You deserve to be seen, to be heard, to be known. And not as someone's reflection, but as yourself. So if you ever felt like you've lost yourself in a relationship, this space is for you. Your voice matters. Your needs matter. And your authenticity is your greatest strength. You're not too much. You're not too needy. You're not too difficult. You are enough. And it's time to find your way back to yourself. Drop your story in the comments if you've ever felt like you've disappeared in a relationship. You're not alone. Let's find our way back together. This is ChatGPT Reacts, and this is a space for everyone learning to put themselves back into their own story. See you in the next video. Bye bye.